Hey everybody, this is Adrian, and of course I'm the guy right behind the scenes of Relevant Time Ministries. And you've probably seen some of my videos for those of you who have subscribed. If not, please do so. Relevant Time Ministries is something that is open to the public. I have several videos out there that cover topics that may not be discussed in the same manner as what you might hear behind the pulpit. And I just try to keep it real, keep it relevant, and keep it real relevant. That is my goal anyway. And I want to talk about something today that's been weighing on heavy on my heart for a couple weeks now, since the Memorial Day weekend, actually. And I'm going to start off by saying that this particular presentation is in regards to bearing each other's burdens. And that is something that we, as followers of Christ, need to understand is not something that we do when it's convenient, only when it's convenient, I should say, or when we have the time uh, to just, spare. But it's something that we should take in extreme consideration regarding how we present ourselves as followers of Christ to our brothers and sisters. Um, I'm gonna start off with a quote that I saw at my son's school when he was in I want to say the third grade back in Virginia Beach. I walked in the classroom and the teacher had this quote on her desk, and it said, I can't remember the author, or there was an unknown author, I don't remember, but it says, "Not everyone is going to believe everything you say, but everyone will believe everything you do." As followers of Christ, we can't just tell people about our faith. We have to show them our faith in action. James talks about that. The book of James talks about that quite in depth regarding deeds and our faith. We know that faith without deeds is dead. So we just cannot talk about our faith. We have to show it in action to people, especially those that we're trying to win over to be Christians or followers of Christ. I hate using the term Christian nowadays because there's too many flavors out there for me to really pin down for folks that understand what a Christian probably is. It's just too much going on. Galatians 6:2 tells us that we should carry each other's burdens, and in that way we will fulfill the law of Christ. Now, if you don't know what the law of Christ is, it primarily is flushed out in First Corinthians 9 and 21, uh, and also in Mark 12:28 through 31. Probably more so in Mark 12, everybody understands it to be love God, love people. Love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and everything, your strength. And likewise, love others as yourself. That is the key. We have to love God enough. We have to have enough reverence for God in order to walk out our faith in a way that's going to be ministry to other people. If we just talk about it and walk away, invite folks to church and just tell them, it's a great place to be, we hope to see you, you are not going far enough. And again, Jesus teaches, once you walk a mile for somebody, give them another mile. Go that extra mile to help either restore somebody back to Christ or bring them into a relationship with Christ. Once again, nobody's going to really listen nowadays, but they can see. You have witnesses all around you that are looking to see how you are going to behave. Of course, they'll take whatever you say and use it against you, and what you do and use it against you. So it's even more so beneficial to show people what it means to be a follower of Christ. Philippians 2 3 through 4 says basically this: we need to make ourselves available to others, to our brothers and sisters in need. We need to make ourselves available to help them out whenever they are in a time of need. Granted, there are some who kind of act like they're always in need, and that's where we have to have a little bit more of spiritual guidance. But there are times, and there are a lot of times, where people are in genuine need of our help, and unfortunately, a lot of times we're not there for them the way we say we are supposed to be, or the way we claim to be because of our faith. And now here's my story about the Memorial Day weekend. There is a dear family that was in dire need of some help. They were moving from one home to another home, about 10 minutes apart. The movers that they had hired called that morning and said, "We're not coming." And they got into a stressful situation. They started calling folks that they thought were going to be there for them. And they called a particular pastor that's been in part of their family for several years now. And he says, "Hey, look, you don't call Americans on an American holiday and ask them to help you move. It's just not something we do." And he kind of left it at that and didn't try to give them any advice, support, help, or try to make some arrangements for himself to be there. And then they called me. I said, "Look, I don't know what I can muster up, but at a bare minimum, I'll be there. And I will try to get some other folks to help." I had one other guy come, and he showed up to help me and help them. So there was me, the other guy, the father, and that was pretty much about it in regards to manpower. Now, if you all know my situation, you know that I had cancer. I'm at my year anniversary with getting my femur and ball joint removed on my right side and replaced with stainless steel. So I'm not at 100% capacity to carry too much of anything. But I did go and I helped out and I carried some stuff, and I overworked myself, and they were worried about it, but it didn't matter at the time. They needed help. Luckily, and because God is so great, he actually sent a couple of more folks to help out. Here's my problem, though. The pastor that they called is the one that they were looking and leaning on to help. He did not come to their aid in any way, in form or fashion. He said a lot of people have left town, and therefore you really picked the wrong day to ask somebody. He didn't leave town, nor did I. That's why I was available to come help. He was available to come help. This was on a Saturday and not the actual holiday. The holiday was on a Monday. Most events, if you don't leave town and go visit other people, most of the events are on that Monday. So Saturday is just a chill day. And that's what I mean by you got to live out your faith and come out of your comfort zone. And you got to do what you say you're all about when it's not comfortable to do so, when it's inconvenient to do so, when it becomes a little bit of a burden for you to do so. Because he did not come to their aid, that kind of made them look at him in a different way. And unfortunately, I also believe it kind of made them look at Christianity in a different way. Luckily, though, some other Christians stepped in and rendered aid, and it didn't impact them as negatively as it may have if nobody came to their aid. And so we Christians, followers of Christ, is what I like to say most, you have an obligation to carry out what Christ tells you. And that is to go and do. Not just go and talk about, but go and do. Show people what it means to be my disciple. That's how you make disciples. That's how you come alongside people. You don't just say, "Come to church." You show them the benefits of being a member of a church family. You don't just tell people about Jesus. You show them Jesus in the way that you act towards them. You don't just invite folks to a place. You tell them why they need to come, and you show them why they need to come. Again, with that quote that I started off with, not everybody's going to believe everything you say, but everybody will believe everything that you do. So, with that being said, brothers and sisters, please, let's do better. Let's do better. The Bible doesn't tell us to come alongside folks whenever it's convenient. He doesn't say, "I need you to bear each other's burdens," as long as it's okay. As long as you got a little extra time on your hands. As long as, everything works out, the stars align and this, that, and the other come together, then you can do it. That's all right. No, what he says is, if you're going to claim to be my follower, just like I gave up, you got to give up. That's what draws people's attention to the gospel. That's what shows them who Christ is. That's what being a light in a dark, selfish, self-centered world looks like. And with that, I end my presentation. Keep it real, keep it relative, keep it real relative. Thank you. Ciao.